Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw for Insider Travel Report, and I'm here today with actually a familiar face. We've spoken with her many times, Christy Willems, who's the Senior Director, National and Strategic Accounts for Virgin Voyages. And if you've been keeping track these days, Virgin Voyages has been coming out with a lot of news. They got a ship up in Alaska for the first season. They're revamping and renovating their existing fleet, which really only entered the market just a few years ago. And there's a lot of other programs that they're developing. So we thought it was a good time to talk to Christy about all that's going on with Virgin Voyages. And you'll find out about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Christy, first of all, great to see you again, although virtually, right?
Thanks, James. Always a pleasure. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, so let's get right to the heart of the matter. You're now up in Alaska. Brilliant Lady is officially making its Virgin Voyages Alaska debut. Why is this such a really an important launch for Virgin Voyages, and what makes this experience really different for first mates, the travel advisors who sell it?
Yeah, it's a great question. And honestly, for us, Alaska is such a huge milestone, and for a lot of reasons. When we looked at the marketplace, this is now a way that we can get into the West Coast market, which we weren't before. So we didn't have a West Coast presence. Now we do, and we're really doubling down on the West Coast.
Mhm.
So for us, we've expanded our sales organization. So we've got new territories of BDMs there because we know there's so much untapped potential on the West Coast. And it makes such a difference having a ship in your backyard. So that's kind of first and foremost. Alaska really untaps that
Yeah, and
for
I think you guys do Alaska a slightly different way from maybe some of the other folks up there. They do wonderful jobs, but I've heard good things about how you approach the market.
You're so right, James. And again, we can't do anything low key. So we want
No.
to really fully embrace the Alaskan experience. And for us, it's not just about Virgin sailing to Alaska, it's our interpretation of Alaska. So with us, we're sending our newest ship of the fleet, Brilliant Lady, there, which is great. But we're not just taking a product and placing it in Alaska. Instead, we really focused on building that Alaska experience into the ship itself. So when you're on board, even for our most repeat sailors, you're going to find new things. We updated some of the happenings. We brought two new happenings cast members, all centered around the Alaska experience and Alaska storytelling. Our restaurants, which again, food is always at kind of the core of our experience, all have brand new dishes that are debuting just for Alaska, bringing those
Okay.
Alaska flares and all the flavors you know and love of the fresh seafood and cuisine of Alaska. And then, of course, just really making sure that when you're looking for a kid-free experience, there is no other way to sail Alaska than with Virgin Voyages. So for the advisor community, this is such a big opportunity. Alaska is one of the most requested cruise destinations in the world. And for us to finally have a ship there and do it in a Virgin way is really a great opportunity. Even if you have customers that have been to Alaska before, I can promise you they have not sailed Alaska in this way if they were to go on Brilliant Lady. So it allows them to, call on past customers that have been to Alaska, but also reach out to those that maybe have been waiting for this destination to come through Virgin Voyages.
Well, certainly going on an adults only Virgin cruise to Alaska, as well as getting great seafood, new dishes and things like that. Those are all good reasons to
Yeah.
sell this a Brilliant Lady this year. And I assume you're planning to do even more Alaska seasons in the future.
Absolutely. Alaska has been so well received since day one. The number one question we got from sailors and first mates is, when are you going to Alaska?
Mhm.
So I'm finally thrilled to announce we are here and we are here to stay. So it's going to be really excited to see the product continue to evolve through the Alaska experience.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. That's amazing. Now, turning to another thing you've been doing, you've been actually actively revamping, renovating, refurbishing your existing fleet, which, as I said, it feels like it was just yesterday to me, and it probably was. But the latest one, and we just wrote about this, Valiant Lady has returned, reimagined, and I should say that word reimagined, not refurbished, after the dry dock. What are the biggest updates that advisors should know about, and why does this matter in the market, at least with Valiant Lady?
Look, time flies when you're having fun, and I cannot believe our second ship is finally finished her dry dock. But yes, Valiant for us, I'd say her biggest headline coming out of dry dock is definitely Aria, which is our newest restaurant
Mhm.
concept on board. The name Aria comes from Richard Branson's great great grandmother, and it's probably one of the most personal dining experiences that we've created. When you look at the restaurant itself, it's really inspired by the flavors and experiences and traditions of India.
Hmm.
It's
So this
also
is an Indian restaurant. That's pretty cool.
yeah, it is. And there's nothing like it on any of our other ships. So it's being added to our already award-winning dining. And if you know Virgin Voyages, you know we take our food very seriously. So it's something that our sailors are really excited to experience. There's nothing like it out there. But again, it's another reason our first mates have a compelling reason to re-engage with both their past sailors and sailors that they may not have gotten on board just yet. But outside of the dining, and again, that's by far probably the biggest headline,
For me, Indian food is great. I got to have that. That's great.
right? Say less. I will be there day one. So maybe when the ship gets back to the Caribbean, you and I will have to go and we can
Absolutely.
chat over some great food. But in addition to that, we really looked at kind of the overall experience on the ship and how we can really enhance the spaces. So the manor is another big one for us.
Mhm.
Again, based on feedback, we really made changes to that venue to make it a more open and inviting space for sailors. Our On the Rocks venue, which is really popular for live music, we looked at that space and said, how can we make it better? How can we enhance the experience? And that's what we're doing. The athletic club, same as Brilliant Lady,
Mhm.
taking down that huge gray wall, making it all windows so you can take out and enjoy the scenery. So for us, it's, taking the already existing experience, making it even better for the sailors. But when you look at the actual entertainment on board, we've got over 20 new happenings across the voyage
And
that
you
you,
are known for those happenings. I
oh,
remember that
yes,
was
we
the
are.
most original thing you have. You can be walking down a hallway and something happens.
Exactly. It's, no matter where you are, there's always something going on. But I think that's, for us, our product really resonates with sailors and they do come back and our repeat rates are really strong. So we're constantly thinking, how can we continue to make this experience one that our sailors want to keep coming back for? So the fact that there's over 20 new happenings, anywhere from interactive game shows to food and beverage experiences, we amped up some of the wellness programming we have. And again, just overall social experiences that bring people together is just a way that Valiant is just getting a new energy and a new refresh. So we're really thrilled that she's now back and back in service on the fleet.
Well, I love how you make a new ship even newer and even with more experiences and different things. And I love the idea of the Indian restaurant. I believe that isn't that where Razzle Dazzle was? That's, yeah.
Correct. And Razzle Dazzle will still serve her
Okay.
fantastic breakfast and lunch. So you'll still get the Razzle Dazzle favorites during the day, but Razzle by night will be turned into Aria. So Valiant Lady's really a ship that people already loved, but now she's just got new reasons to come back.
Absolutely. Well, that definitely is. There are a lot of reasons there. Now, let's turn to something else that I just got back from a conference where there was a lot of discussion about the industry about NCFs or non-commissionable fares, and a lot of press going towards it about everybody doing this new. Well, the fact is, I believe Virgin has never had NCFs. But why has this always been an important part of your relationship with your first mates, your travel advisors?
For sure. I mean, for us, this is not a recent shift or a response to a moment. It's really reflecting how we chose to build our business from day one. We've always believed that our first mates are the reason for our success and they're our
Mhm.
true partner. It's such a new concept and new brand. We heavily rely on our first mate community to really share this experience with their customers. So from day one, we wanted to make sure our compensation model was straightforward,
Right.
transparent, and easy to understand. And so for us, yeah, we've noticed the industry's talking a lot about NCFs recently. But for us, our no NCF model isn't just a promotion, it's more of a philosophy. So we want the advisors focused on selling and growing their business and not spending time calculating what they think they're earning on a voyage. So that's,
And that's the problem with the
yeah,
commissionable, NCFs is that you'll make the sale and then all of a sudden after you take out all the
yeah.
taxes and fees and everything else, port charges, you're not going to make much on the cruise.
No, and that's the last thing we want. For us, we are so thankful for every single booking that comes our way. So we want to make sure the advisor's rewarded for that. And again, you brought them to us, and more than likely that customer is going to come back. So of course, we want to reward you for that. And it's really one of the clearest examples we've had of our long-term commitment to the trade. And the fact that from the very first day, we've said we are in this together and we really couldn't do it without you.
Well, let's turn to another issue with it, some more support for the trade that literally came across my desk earlier today, and we'll have that out, and this will probably be out before this interview. But it's Virgin Voyages' new groups program, which is really another strong reason why travel advisors and First Mate should book you. How does this reflect both the advisor feedback you got, and how does it make it easier to grow group business?
Yeah, so our new groups program is again hot off the press, going live today, June 3rd. But we could not be more excited for this. And, anyone that's interacted with Nirmal, our CEO, knows he always very openly says feedback is a gift.
Yeah.
And that could not be more true when it comes to our groups program. And the reality is, we will be the first ones to admit we did not quite get the groups program right when we launched it. We
Mhm.
went through the second version of it. But when we look at our experience today, groups are critical to the success of the advisor and also our business. So when we were taking a stance back at all the feedback we got, we said, okay, we really need to figure out how to not make this more complex, but remove the friction.
Sure.
So this new groups program, again, makes it much easier to hold space. First mates can now hold up to 75 cabins with no restrictions around it, which is fantastic. It also gives them more flexibility. It's combinable with our My Next Virgin Voyage onboard program. Again, going back, our repeat rates are really high for a
Mhm.
reason. So we want to make sure that those sailors are incentivized to come and bring friends with them so they can still book into a group using that great promotion. And again, we really wanted to guide this decision so that it was three factors: simple to hold, easy to sell, and build to earn. So for the advisor, we want to kind of remove those roadblocks and barriers. Also, when you look at Virgin Voyages, our product is very much a celebratory product.
Mhm.
We see such a driver of 50th and 60th birthdays, bachelorette parties, honeymoons, you name it. If there's something to celebrate, people are grabbing their friends and family and they're wanting to come on board. So, in order to support that, we also needed to make sure we had a groups program that honestly made you want to put the group on Virgin Voyages, which in before, maybe it didn't, but I will say the new program is exactly what we need to take our business to the next level and
Well,
do
if
it.
I recall, Sir Richard Branson held his birthday on board.
Correct.
I want the commission from that group, put it that way. But I guess Richard doesn't have to pay as much, but that he might have got a slight discount. But that's an example of, everybody wanted to go celebrate a
Yeah,
birthday,
it's true.
and this is a wonderful time, an anniversary, a birthday, just a group of friends getting together. You can have a lot of friends, you can have groups of 10, 12, 20. It just would, it's an amazing chance to, and that's where the money is for travel advisors, is in selling groups.
It is. And, we're very fortunate. For us, we've got a lot of first mates that have really helped us grow this business. And it's been really fun to watch this group program come to life because there is a vested interest for, our first mates wanting us to succeed. They love our brand. And
Mhm.
so, again, just a huge thank you to all of you that helped kind of form this new version of the groups program. But we really are excited for this and can't wait to help support you as you continue to grow your business.
Fantastic. Well, a lot going on. You look at, there's Alaska with Brilliant Lady. You got the Valiant Lady refresh, the latest advisor tools such as this groups program. Obviously, you've been with not charging with the NCFs, that you've been a pioneer in that. What else should first mates take away from for about the opportunity that Virgin Voyages offers right now?
Yeah, I think right now our biggest takeaway is just overall momentum. Everything we chatted about today, right? The fact that we're going to Alaska for the first time, the refresh, the no NCF model, which has been around since day one. These are all part of a much bigger story, revamping our groups program. What it's telling us is, we are an award-winning brand and very young in our journey as being a
Mhm.
cruise line, but we're not stopping. This is just the beginning for us. And I think as an advisor, there is no better time to be partnering with us. We're continuing to invest in the product. We're constantly expanding to new destinations. We're evolving our sales organization and the tools that advisors need to be successful. So we want to make sure we're the go-to brand for you when you're thinking of where to put your business. And as someone that's been with Virgin Voyages for almost 8 years, I will tell you
You
there
are a
is
veteran. You are a veteran.
a veteran. I will tell you, there is such an energy right now around the business. And look, every milestone we get to is incredible. But right now, when I tell you the business has never been better, it's true. And so if you're brand new to us, welcome aboard because this is the best time to get started. And if you've been with us since the beginning, I really hope that you can see how much we've done to really evolve the organization and the brand. And again, we're just really thankful. And everything we're doing is to go back to create experiences that are so compelling. Your sailors want to come back. And again, they want to bring others with them to experience the product. And if we keep that at the forefront of what we're doing, we're just one step closer to becoming the most irresistible travel brand. And that to me is something worth getting excited about.
And you also are one of the most innovative travel brands, believe me. And this is
Thank you,
really,
James.
really something that I think travel advisors have to take into account because you're always looking at the product, making it better. You're always looking for new ways that travel advisors, your first mates, can sell the product even better. I want to thank you, Christy. And of course, if you want to find out more, you just go to www.firstmates.com, if I recall. That's where you can find out about all these things and more. And you can also read Insider Travel Report. We're writing about them almost every week about something going on. In fact, I got to go back and finish this release about the groups program for tomorrow. You'll see this interview after that. But again, I want to thank you for taking the time to tell us all about all the things that are going on with Virgin Voyages today.
Always a pleasure, James. And thank you to you and the team and everything you're doing to help keep our news at the forefront of the travel advisor community.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.